right. We live back in full effect, fellas. How has everybody's week been? How y'all feeling out there?
Feeling good, feeling good. It's rainy, man. Rainy weekend.
Yeah, it's raining where I'm at too, man.
Oh yeah, I've been laid back, chilling.
Yeah, but the rain rain hopefully gonna make it a hot summer for us in boxing, man.
Yeah,
hot summer. I know y'all boys just finally getting out that winter. I don't really call this BS down here winter. You know what I'm saying? Did any of y'all check out the zone fight last night at all? Nah.
What,
I looked at it partially.
Zepeda, yeah.
I did watch Zepeda. I ain't watched the whole card. I watched Zepeda.
Zepeda dropped his ass quick, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a quick fight. So, yeah, it wasn't too much to watch. Yeah, he got him out of there quick. But, I mean, he ducked Shakur, so I don't really care about him. You feel me? I feel like he ducked Shakur, though, so, you know.
Right.
But, yeah, he looked impressive that fight. Got him out of there real quick. Hurt the dude real bad. You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched Oscar De La Hoya's nephew get dropped the fight before, or his cousin or whatever.
Oh shit!
And then he was interviewed with Kid Austin from around here in Texas, and then after that he went to it was on to the fight that you saw, Des. And then that was quick. I mean, it was a lot less expensive. But that's props to what we have been talking about since February, Des, because that was really supposed to be Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz.
Okay, yeah, it was, right. And
but Oscar had already rented the venue, and he was like, well, shit, I'm going to just go ahead through it. You know, you got to go through the card. And even last night, he was talking like, I ain't tripping. I just sold 1 million pay-per-view buys, so I ain't tripping.
Right. Well, he did do right about that, filling that venue up because Virgil Ortiz got hurt, right? He got that condition, right? So
right,
yeah.
But by that way, Oscar still keeps loyal to his fans because it's like, okay, he's hurt, but I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna fill the void. Like I'm bringing boxing to Arlington, Texas, and
Zepeda's a good fighter, so it ain't like he just threw anybody out there. Zepeda's a good fighter, you know.
And me and you talked about that with the whole AB situation. Had AB been with Oscar, his fight would have went through.
Oh yeah, he would have been already fought by then. Yeah, true. Damn, we still ain't get an AB fight, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's May, fellas. It's May. Yeah. Still ain't fought yet.
Still ain't fight.
I'm sure Don King working on something. You know what I mean? But it probably hit Don King like, all right, because Don King only had him maybe 5 weeks at this point.
Right.
So he probably like, all right, let me find something. And it's probably, Don King ain't gonna give up no money for no reason. So he gonna find something that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. It is crazy, fellas. I don't know what to say.
So we
I'm gonna let you start it, Twan. I'm gonna let you start it because we're gonna talk about T.O. You know what's comments. I'm gonna go ahead and let you start it.
All right. So before we even hit off the T.O. Mr. Lopez and that outrageous nonsense that he put up there, I've been a little bit taken back on the fact that how Oscar and Hopkins wasn't in Garcia's corner. That's pretty much been the big talk this week around the boxing world. Them, in my opinion, making excuses on why they weren't in his corner. Like, come on, like your team is supposed to be like your extended family for real. And the fact that he lost, and then Oscar comes out the woodwork say, "Oh, Bernard got banned from the fight," and then Oscar's like, "Oh, I had death threats." I'm like, "This boxing, there's been death threats all over the place from trainers and coaches, and they were still in the loser fighters camp, like in the post fight." And in my opinion, it may be a hot take for me. In my opinion, I think Garcia should just drop all of them and do his own thing for real. Get himself a new trainer.
Oh, I'm sure Eddie Hearn will pick Ryan up in 5 seconds.
If you guys had a chance to watch, I got to charge it later, sweetie. If you get a chance to watch the epilogue on the All Access of the Garcia Tank fight, I watched that yesterday. You heard Guzman not give him any pointers on how to adjust to that fight. Like, 0 pointers. Like, he like after he got dropped in the second round, all you heard him say was, "Oh, you did a good job attacking him. Just get back to boxing." That's not giving pointers. That's just saying, "Oh, you got dropped. Get back to your fundamentals." No, like you need to somebody, especially like Tank, who y'all may not give. A lot of people are now starting to give him that respect on the IQ level, but you're looking at his IQ level in the ring. You can't. You have to tell him something like, "Hey, I know you want to sit there and attack him, but you still got 6'5", 6 inches on you. You still got that 3-inch reach. Don't go in there and dog it out. Like you gotta kind of be like Floyd in a sense and use your length as your defense. The fans may not like it, but you are to put on a show. But what you're doing ain't working. He had no jab. He didn't use the right hand. He started using the right hand around the 6th round, but by that time it was too late. He's throwing his left hook, just hoping it lands. And then when it finally did land, Tank already figured it out and hit him with that liver shot. So like, his whole camp, like, what were y'all doing the whole camp? And then Guzman comes out the woodworks, and some people are saying, "Oh, the mole is who came out this week and said, oh, I hit him with a body shot." That don't matter if your team still is preparing you in the right way. Yeah, you may have got hit with a body shot, but if your team notices that, they're like, "Oh, this is how we need to defend it," instead of him saying, "Oh, just get back to boxing." Like Guzman, hell of a coach, legendary coach, but I don't think they truly gave Tank that respect that Tank gave Garcia going into the fight. For real, for real. I really don't think they gave Tank that much like respect. They knew he was a bomber. They knew he had power in both hands. They knew he was knocking him out, but they didn't give him that. Oh, he's really got that IQ thing on lock. Him and his team got that IQ on lock because you heard Floyd like one trick pony. He about to be a no trick pony. His team, his trainer's like, "Oh, stay on his jab side. I'm just like, those are what you're supposed to hear in a fight, but you're not hearing that from Ryan's camp at all. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all essentially set him up just for the pay-per-view buys and the cash, but really it was like, "Oh, throw you to the wolves, and when you lose, we're just like, you know what? We don't know about you. I don't know how y'all feel about it." Like,
go ahead, Des.
Man, I feel exactly how you feel, Twan. A lot of excuses coming from Ryan's side. I mean, like I said, like you said, he wasn't out there at the press conference. Pretty sure Ryan would have won. He would have been out there with him. You know, really thought that was a bunch of bullshit. And then between Goosen even came out and said that even when I was watching the All Access, you would see how, you know, Calvin interacts with Tank. They give him pointers, you know, throughout the whole boxing camp. You see like a lot of interaction between Tank and his trainer. You rarely seen that between Ryan and Goosen. You know what I mean? So that was kind of strange for me from the jump. And then Goose just came out and said that you really can't train Ryan. He basically just came out and said, like, you can give pointers to Ryan, but he said as far as training him, you really can't train Ryan. So I'm not so, you know, from what I took from that was he was saying, you know, Ryan has his own way of going about training and things of that nature. Maybe he's a little big-headed, but he came out and said that, you know, he really didn't train Ryan, honestly. You know, so that's a red flag right there. Like, you got this Hall of Fame trainer in your corner and you're not letting him train you. And then so that's a red flag right there. So, you know,
he may not be the right coach then, for real.
Exactly. It might have been that. It definitely seemed like it was disconnect that training camp he had, because he was saying like you can give him pointers and things like that, but
not with somebody
he
like
was saying. Yeah, ultimately he was saying Ryan was basically training himself. That's what he was throwing out there. You know,
I don't think so. Like somebody who fights, like you have to, like this is his what I think it's his third fight with Ryan.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's the second or third fight with Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
You know how he is. So with a fight at this magnitude, it don't matter what pointers you give him. All boxers need coaching. It don't not pointers, not we go into the gym, we work the pads for social media. Not we go in here, we just film you doing your little workout here and there for Showtime. You have to physically sit there and watch film. I think he watched film, but I don't think Goose sat down with him and was like, hey, this is what Tank does. These are his tendencies. This is what punches he throws during this time, and start picking up on it. So, like, what were you truly doing? Were you just there to get a bag? That, like, come on, Gooseman. Like, you can't sit there and try to tell people who actually been in the fight game for a while, like, oh, he's uncoachable. All fighters are coachable, and as somebody who has that type of pedigree like Gooseman, why wouldn't you put that on? Like, coaches have to be less sensitive. Like, I understand Garcia.
Well, I will say this, Twan. Canelo's trainer said when Joe Gooseman said that he was pretty much the same way. That's why Kim and Canelo kind of fell out because Canelo, y'all know, trains 24/7. He eats, lives, sleeps boxing, similar to Floyd and some of the other greats. And he said Ryan would try and be on that bullshit with Reynoso, and Reynoso was like, "Homie, I ain't into that one."
Right.
You gonna have to either get busy with it or figure something out. And that's when he went off on that little depressed little situation, and then he finally came back, and which I give props for. He came back and he called out Tank.
No, honestly, I think it was somebody being real with him. Gooseman, you got to be real with somebody like Garcia because, again, he is a social media star. Like, yes, he fights. He has a great record. He knows what he's doing in the ring, but you saw that his fundamentals are still lacking, even though he has that amount of amateur background. His fundamentals were still lacking. So somebody with Gooseman's pedigree, somebody with De La Hoya's pedigree and Biop's pedigree, y'all need to like press him. Like, hey, I understand you're a social media star. I know you got this much following, this, that. I know you big headed, but this ain't the time for you to be big headed. This is the time where you need to like focus in. You want your respect. Like,
you need to be brain headed. Like, use your damn brain.
Like, he's got my respect for hopping in the ring, and he got even more my respect after the post fight because he didn't make any excuses for the fight. Like, that's something I was like, he may make an excuse like, oh, this, that, and a third. I got hit in the body during camp. No, he took that on the chin. Like, I fought a bad fight. We didn't adjust properly. He's a great fighter. This, that, and the third. And even Tank's camp was the same way. Like, he said, Brian's a great fighter, and they hugged it out like fighters are supposed to do. So he got my respect in that means. But like, his whole camp, just something's off with that. Like, if Garcia wants to get to the position where I know he can at 140, and I honestly think he's making the right move jumping to 140 because I honestly think he can actually do some damage at 140. Like,
yeah, he'll kick ass at 140.
Like, honestly, I think his next fight should be a tune-up at 140, then go either after Taylor or Fimo. Like, just to see where he's at.
Well, if you watched the fight last night, that's pretty much what Oscar said he was going to do. He said he's going to let Ryan rest, chill with his family for a minute, and then they're going to go get busy at 140 later on this year and going into next year. So I think that's an excellent idea for him and for his career.
But, like, dude, like, his team needs to, like, sit there and be real with him. Like, again, I understand he's the cash cow. I understand he's the one that's bringing in the bread. And that comes with a whole another fold into the family dynamic. But if you want him to have that continued success fighting, which would attach him with his social media following, y'all have to sit there and be real with him. Like, oh, you can't just be giving pointers because at 140 the same thing happens. Like, Tank, they I think they did the morning weigh-in. They both weighed in at 145. And everybody's talking about the rehydration clause. Like, I think it was like one of the Charlo brothers. I can't remember which one it was. It's like, oh, he was. I have respect for Tank, da 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 da, but the rehydration, and same thing with Conor McGregor's bitch ass, which I can't stand.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that stuff, but I
But
mean,
like, but the
it is.
IBF,
Well, you said Barrio said some shit too, right?
yeah, yes. So Barrios comes out and says, oh, he put a rehydration clause in Tank put a rehydration clause in my fight. I was like, nobody, Barrios, stop playing dumb. Like Barrios, you looked considerably larger than Tank going into that fight. I know you was pressing at least 150, 155 going into that fight. Like, don't play.
Yeah, I really don't care about rehydration clause with way bigger fighters and
Yeah, because don't.
like,
My thing is, Daz, don't sign the shit then.
I don't sign this shit right. And then if Barrios is fighting at welterweight now, so you know he would have came in 140, 150. Like, it's just like
he came in easy about 150, 155.
yeah, like come on, man. Like it's not that big of a deal. They're just using that to try to throw hate towards Tank or whatever. Like rehydration clause has been in boxing forever, you know, with smaller against bigger fights. So it's not really that much. It's just a try to throw a stain at Tank. So real boxing fans know why there's a rehydration clause in certain fights, you know. And Tank is a small ass fighter anyway. He's still fighting dudes way bigger than him all the time.
Exactly.
So,
and they both came in at 145. Like 145, they both came in at 145. So Barrios is saying like, oh, I had a rehydration clause. There's no way you came into the fight at 145. And y'all both
exactly.
IBF.
And Tank was already moving up to fight you anyway.
Exactly.
So why wouldn't it be a right? Tank wasn't fighting at 140. Tank was fighting at 135.
And they weren't fighting out for the IBF because I think the IBF is the only title that
he fought for the he fought what's his name, Barrios, for the WBA, I believe.
He did. He went up though. Yeah, he went up.
So and they don't have WBA doesn't have a rehydration clause. I think IBF does. So
he fought him. Yeah, he fought him because I don't think Barrios had the IBF. I'm pretty sure he had like the W. Yeah, it's the orange reddish looking one, I believe.
It's the WBA.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm pretty sure that was the WBA they fought him for. Because it was the summer a couple years ago, right after COVID, and it was in Atlanta, and I was traveling at the time. I'm pretty sure the belt was red. Yeah, it was the red. It's got to be WBA because it was I'm pretty sure it was like a reddish, orangish looking belt.
Yeah, just to turn out the whole week after this fight, so many fighters, just Sean, this, that, and the third. Oh,
right, but you know what, fellas? They ain't getting in the ring. They ain't selling a million pay-per-view buys. They ain't doing nothing. They just sitting around running their mouth. So all them fighters need to get busy.
Yeah, there's no reason why Charlo was talking the way he was talking. I'm like, I don't think you've been in the ring in a minute, my guy. So you can't be sitting there getting mad. And number two, Ryan said he's going to cover your freaking bet anyways.
I don't know what Charlo hate towards Tank is. But
man, it's that fight. It's that argument, Daz. They had that argument when it was him, Broner. I'm gonna send it to y'all, or I'm gonna bring it up this way. I'm gonna send it to y'all. Right, it was when him. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, him, Broner, because Broner was rolling with Tank for a minute when they was early on in their career. Yeah, and they all was at the weigh-in, and then Charlo barking with his Hold on, let me see if I can find that. But the other Charlo got no hate toward the other Charlo.
The other Charlo called him stupid. Yeah. Like literally, like you're dumb for making that bet.
It be Jamel, but to hit on Ryan real quick, like he might just need a different. I mean, somebody that's going to really push his butt. Like for Joe Goosen to say that you really don't train right, you got to collaborate with him. Like Ryan's only 24 years old. I mean, he probably a small boxer, but he still needs to be pushed. We ain't talking about a seasoned fighter, seasoned vet that's accomplished a lot of things. We're talking about a young, upcoming fighter. So if you're not gonna have the balls to be on his ass and push him the right way, then he's gonna start losing. You know, and you could tell he wasn't ready for Tank. It was like level. Tank was a better boxer anyway, but he looked at way worse than what he was supposed to anyway. Like the mistakes he was making, things like that. He didn't look. Like even shouldn't have been in the ring with Tank.
Like
honestly,
hot take, I'm gonna say hot take for me. I know a lot of people may get some slack, but Ryan should go to Tank's camp for his next fight for real. Like if you let
they'll treat him good over there.
Like Tank's coaches really like showed him some love. Like yo, The reason why we was on him the way we was on him was because we gave him that much respect, and that would translate into his training. Like, we see what you can do. You still have some holes in your game, so we can fix that.
Right.
That's my hot take on it. Like, I'm pretty sure like Pink's camp could legitimately like fix his fundamental mistakes. And me going like when I went to Upton, they don't play that nonsense when they did it. They may be in Vegas, but they still got that Upton feel to them, where it's
Of course.
like oh
Right.
we don't train knockout artists, we train punters, and they would actually get all the fundamental gunk that he has because Ryan didn't have no head movement, he didn't have no foot movement, he only relied on one punch. Like that's a lot of rookie mistakes on somebody who is substantial, like way better like in the game than what he is currently.
Yeah, let's transition. We spent a nice little bit on that, fellas. Good topic. Let's transition to Teofimo Lopez's comments. Now, we got quite a few replies on this week on our midweek video. I've been pretty forgiving with Teofimo because he's done some
Question.
pretty exclamation star things that I don't want to say on YouTube. I know Twine got kids in the background and all that other stuff. He's done some pretty idiotic things, and I've been pretty nice. I've been pretty forgiving.
Go upstairs.
I've tried to, give him the benefit of the doubt. Keep your head up. Keep fighting. But it's almost like it almost hurt him, fellas, to win that Lomachenko fight. It's like it was worse for him. It almost would have been better for him to lose. He goes to Triller, talking trash to his own promoter, which is Bob Arum. Say, I'm going to take the fight on Triller because they're going to give me more money. T. Diddy in the background, his dad screaming J-Lo and all this other stuff. The fight in Miami never happens. He don't sell like he think he going to sell. That was what was the funniest thing is they thought they was going to sell Hard Rock Stadium. Then it was Floyd Mayweather's fault for fighting Logan Paul in Miami around that time. Then some more back and forth that year, fellas. And then we arrive at November 2021. It's the disrespect back and forth with Devin Haney saying N-word this, N-word that, going back and forth, which is, I got family in New York and in Philly. And, the Spanish brothers are in the hood. They live in the same neighborhoods as us. So I even kind of gave him a little pass on that just because that's how it was. So I said, all right, I'm going to let it slide. Then he gets his jaw rocked by George Kambosos. That's why when I put that video up, I made sure it showed him getting put on his buttocks earlier this week. Since then it goes to, I got a heart condition and I got this interview with Mark Kriegel and all this other stuff. Then his dad it's Eddie Hearn's fault. It's the Zone's fault. They're a bad platform. They had us over here. We should have been in the big theater of Hulu. You ain't even sell out the little theater of Hulu. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a bunch of goofy stuff. Then, all right, we want to go to 140. We want to fight Josh Taylor. You beat up the dude pretty good that Brandon Lee fought. Then you get to my man Sandor Martin, straight from Spain. He really talks Spanish for real. He dances circles around you. But you got some home cooking because you're at home. And you still got the Josh Taylor fight anyway. So what really disgusts me is I've always been like, pick your head up, keep going forward. But now it's Bob Arum's fault and it's black fighters' fault because it's known that Bob Arum would never do well with his black fighters. So now he's actually trying to concentrate on them. But forget that political talk, fellas. This ain't got nothing to do with it. You ain't that good, homie. You thought you was going to be what Tank was. You thought you was going to be what Devin Haney was. Devin Haney undisputed, went over there and whooped George Kambosos in Australia twice. Devin Haney is the pay-per-view star. You just thought after, I beat Lomachenko. I'm the king of the crop. Floyd's retired. I'm the best ever. I'm this, I'm that. and that ain't you. That ain't what was destined for you.
I'm doing the show.
Unfortunately, that ain't what was destined for you, homie. It was destined for Tank, and it was destined for Devin. And honestly, it was destined for Ryan Garcia too, because he got bigger fights and bigger purses, and he got a bigger pay-per-view than you'll probably ever sell by yourself. So, to me, what Teofimo Lopez needs to do is stop looking at Bob Arum, stop looking at DAZN and Eddie Hearn, stop looking at Tim Bradley and Andre Ward, stop saying it's black fighters' fault, start saying it was George Kambosos' right hand. And that's all I'm going to say.
I'll let you go, Des.
Yeah, man. Tio, I don't know where this coming from. Tio, man. Like, when I heard those comments, I'm like, what? Like, focus on the black fighters. I'm like, these guys are winning and putting in work. You feel? I don't know if he was mad about the last ESPN card because it was like all black fighters, but you had Big Baby and Keyshawn out there and Shakur, like,
and they winning and they selling out.
Winning, right? Undefeated high prospects. Ain't like it's favoritism and everything. It's just what it is. And then, like you said, Mash, like he's just not taking accountability to his own thing. And I want to change. And I want to change my pick right now for the Josh Taylor fight. I know I told y'all boys that he might be able to come out and might be able to, upset people and all that. But I'm telling you that right now, I don't think he's not in his right mindset right now. He need to be focused on. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that pick right now before they even get to fighting. But yeah, he just.
And that's what I was thinking when I was making the video. I'm like, damn, Dad's been cheering for you. I've been giving you passes, and this what you come out
passes. He thought he was gonna be able to change back the clock and be, but I can see he ain't even focused. Like he's just saying that, hating on the black fighters and things like that. Like you said, Cole, he messed up his he tried to go to Triller, that ain't work out for him, and him losing to Kambosos really, really hurt him,
Squash his little ego. He thought he was takeover.
Thought it was a takeover.
And I'm gonna tell you why he did this too, Des. I think he's trying to play chess. He's trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna try to make all the black fans hate me. So every time they tune in, still taking a book out of Floyd Mayweather's style.
That's what
I was pissed off all the people saying he didn't want to see me lose. I think that's what he's really
that's what I was about to get on. Like, don't get me wrong. Lopez, you are okay fighter in my book. Like, you did have your rise.
Juan, you could beat Teofimo Lopez. You got more heart than him.
Honestly, man, I think you're a little right when it came to the upset of Lomachenko. It really filled his head. Like, oh, I'm like that. I'm undisputed. I really like that. And then when Kambosos put him on his ass, like, oh, I may not be like that. And then you went for the rematch, and then you lost again. I'm like, okay, you're really not like that. But then you want to come out the woodworks and start saying what you want to say. Hold on, man. Saying what you want to say and blaming everybody else. Your dad's siding with you. Like, honestly, him and his camp need to turn in and look at themselves for real. Like, you're doing all this jaw jacking, but what have you done to get a position? And what you said about black fighters, like, you from New York. You train in Florida, like you're around nothing but black fighters. Like, I understand.
You started off at the Mayweather gym, and that was your idol for the longest. So come on, dog.
What I heard in the woodworks was Tank saying he may want to set up a fight with Lopez. So going back to what you said, Des, about the whole villain type role deal. Like, oh, if I set up to be the villain, stop. Like the villain role, and maybe I can get all these supporters of Tank who are predominantly African American to really not like me. They can tune in, and I can get that bread.
Right.
In the back of his mind, he really thinks he could beat Tank. We all know that.
No, he don't. No, he don't. No, he don't.
I think he
does. No,
he
don't.
does. I think he really thinks he can sit there and beat Tank.
If he think he can beat Tank, he's smoking that stuff that they had in Brooklyn back in the 80s, homie.
They said that they may be in the works a little later down the line, what maybe him and Lopez, but I don't think that's going on. That'd be.
And he's got a lot of stuff going on, Twan. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he was having issues with his wife, and then didn't he recently get divorced too?
I think so. So
So think about this, Twan. He went from this happy guy doing the backflips, and every time he was wearing the Heisman night, he had on a black player's jersey.
Yeah,
And then he was my wife, my son, and now you're not a family man. Now you don't like fighters that you used to look up to. Every time you come out to music, it would be a hip hop dude. It's just kind of like,
yeah, mentally he's not there right now.
He's coming off the rails, man. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
he ain't even focused.
That Josh Taylor fight, that like I he needs to change scenery ASAP because Josh Taylor is going to humble him. Like Kambosos brought him to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Taylor will humble him. Like you be like, oh, because again, Taylor is that dude at 140. You're trying to beat that dude at 140. I still don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to get schooled. Like Josh Taylor is going to school him because, again, like you can't come out the woodworks and say all this stuff. You're not going to have that backing. Like, yeah, I understand. Like he said, he's not even going to be with Top Rank after this fight. So who you going?
Oh, I know he's not. I was about to allude to that next one. I wouldn't be surprised that because Bob Arum played chess. He did that with another fight. He did that with Edgar Berlanga. Pretty much, he was
Lopez already came out and said that he ain't going to be fighting with Top Rank.
That's why he's saying this. That's perfect, Twan. That's why he's saying it because he know how Bob Arum played. Bob Arum was going like, all right, I'm going to let you make them dumb comments. All right, I'm gonna get you this Josh Taylor fight, and then after this, I'm dropping you because you and your dad talk too much.
So who's gonna sign him? Who you think Golden Boy's gonna pick him up?
He might have to. No, he's gonna be with what's the name? The dude Regis program with. He's gonna be with Lou DiBella or something.
So he may be sitting there thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna be like Dylan Brooks and be the villain and everything like that," but he has to really sit there in the mirror and be like, I'm making all these comments. The predominant boxing world is African American. I don't think he really understands that so much. Like predominant people who either fight or are either casual fans or really down fans for boxing are African American.
Yeah, it's a big part of the population, and he's got to remember that when he says that, Twan, that also. He's also talking about UK fighters too. I don't think he realizes that.
So the dude Sean O'Malley, who's in the UFC from Ireland, he made a perfect analogy this week. He's like, I like boxing, but you have to be a personality to sell boxing to get the tickets. And what Lopez is now starting to do is alienate himself from getting those buys because what promoter is going to pick you up if you're saying these comments
and you're not winning
and especially towards a legend like Andre Ward. Tim Bradley not so much. I don't like Tim Bradley. You can say whatever you want.
Man, listen Twan, let me say this before you keep going. And Dez, I was telling Dez this right before you came. I think you was on with us, Twan. I can't remember. I was saying, man, I can't stand Tim Bradley. He is a jack ass. But I respect him because no matter what, he's a dickhead regardless. All the time, no matter what you do, you just be looking like Tim. Why would you say that, dog? Exactly. And he's like, it's like one of them dudes you want to swing on, but it's like I respect you anyway because you just a dickhead.
Tim got in that Hall of Fame and just think he be saying everything right now. He got into that Hall of Fame. He feeling himself.
He's feeling himself. So. Don't get me wrong. Like you're saying stuff about two Hall of Famers in the boxing community,
right?
Like, what
stuff that's not even true. That's like so far fetched. Like you got knocked down. Like you act like he's trying to say it was a scheme against him to lose, and he was like not calling the fight fairly and shit. I'm like, bro, you just lost to Kambosos. Like you. Like for you to try to blame Ward and Tim Bradley for that, like
you can't blame them. They don't score.
You can't blame them, right?
Speak of the devil. Did y'all look at the Tank scorecards?
Oh yeah, you
called that knockdown by he had it a draw. He was
trying to a draw.
Man, one of the judges had it a 10-10 round.
And then one of the judges had it, and then one of the judges didn't even have a 10-8. They had a 10-9.
Yeah, two of the judges had 10-9. And one of the judges had it a 10-10. I'm just like,
He was trying to cheat from Ryan from the jump, man. I'm like, I'm glad they ain't go to the scorecards.
Well, yeah, because we would have been mad. Like, I sat there and looked at the rounds. I'm sitting there, I'm like, does that say 10-10 on the second round? Didn't he get?
I've never seen nobody get knocked down in a round.
He get a 10-10. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen judges give a 10-9 round for a knockout.
Yeah, rarely though. Like
but it's
he had to be whooping his ass the whole round,
and then just get caught with something lucky.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Ryan was winning that round. Don't get me wrong,
because he was just more aggressive.
Yeah, just more. That's what I'm saying. It was just more aggressive. It wasn't like he was whooping his ass. So it still should have been a 10-8 round.
Yeah, but like the fact that one of the judges tried to give him a 10-10 round, like. These Vegas judges are making it really hard for fighters to go to Vegas now, like, because that's the second time. That's the second time that somebody, like, in recent memory, that you've had at least one of the scorecards. Because that Canelo Triple G fight, when that one judge had it way out the way, it was like,
oh yeah, that was a terrible. It was
way out the way.
It was I remember that scorecard. It was way off, like. And that's another thing, like these boxers, I don't understand how we get so much bad judging in boxing. These are supposed to be people that have seen, that judge.
For Canelo or Triple G, fellas?
It was for Canelo. It was going to be.
Oh, I'm sorry. I agree with that judge. I agree with that judge. Yeah.
Not for the first fight.
Yeah. Yep. First fight. I'm just like that.
No, it was too far.
I'm a front just like that. Yep. Because I didn't like the fact that they pressured Canelo in the fight now.
111.
Yep, no, Canelo. Yep, all day. Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I love me some Canelo, but
yeah, I mean, they'll tell you when we had other hosts hosting the show, they couldn't stand Canelo. Yep, Canelo, cinnamon, yo, I'm riding with him.
I said I love Canelo. Like how he was brought up was genius. How he did it, but that fight was not a 119-111. And then
that was a way like
one had it a draw, one had it slightly towards Triple G. But the other one had it way for Canelo.
Yeah, that Canelo had that judge in the back pocket for real.
Yeah, like
excellent judge.
So what made me think like what made me think like, did Oscar really pay some of these judges? Like, because because Oscar's all about the dub, and he has that issue with Floyd anyways, because none of his fighters freaking beat Oscar. I mean, none of Oscar's fighters beat any of Floyd's fighters at all. So he's like, man, Ryan gonna win one way or another. If he don't get the knockdown, I'm gonna pick one of these damn judges. We gonna get this dub. Like, no,
it might be some shady shit like that, man. Because like I said, a lot of these judges scorecards, I can't believe how terrible they be. I'm not a professional judge, you know what I mean, but I can sit there and judge a fight and have it, and score the right way, and it be seeming like the other, and they be right there at the fight. So I know they're saying, you know what I mean. So it's like, the judging is terrible in boxing.
And what I don't think the judges understand, like they have to renew every year. They have to renew their rights to judge. So you go to a big fight like Tank and Garcia, and it by chance goes to the scorecard, and you scored that way for Garcia, and he ends up winning either a split decision or a majority. Like, you're not judging anymore. Like, there goes.
I don't think that would have happened. I think we all knew Tank was going to knock him out.
We all knew it, but by
we knew that.
Like, by the off chance, it went to the scorecards. Like,
I think it might have been a draw. I don't think the other two judges would have had the balls to do it.
Yeah, I think it would have still been a majority if it would have went to the scorecards. But the fact that they know that this ain't like the 80s or the 90s where your stuff don't get posted no more. Like, everybody's stuff is posted.
People know.
You can't be making mistakes like that. Like,
who was the one in the Floyd Canelo fight? Was that Julie? No, that wasn't Julie. What was that lady? It was something Ross, wasn't it? What was her name?
Oh, the lady?
What fight?
Yeah, the lady, Adelaide. What was her name when the Floyd Canelo fight? And everybody was like, what was she? Even people who hated Floyd at ESPN at the time, they was like, I don't know what she was smoking.
Oh, yeah. Did she have that fight? She had it for a draw or something. Then she
had it a draw or for Canelo.
Something crazy.
It was something wonky.
But she did it again on another big fight. Like, I think that was how Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao or something like that.
Yeah.
She did that shit. And everybody's like, yo, we got to get her up out of here.
And she hasn't judged since.
Nah, she hasn't.
Yeah. Man, talk them numbers though, Corey. I mean, them pay-per-view numbers. You
Yeah,
been
I mean,
on,
I
man.
got early, and I told you, and I text you, Daz, and I text Twine. I said, "Yo, this looking good," because a lot of people
Yeah.
was only thinking 500,000,
No,
and then
it's
Twine gave us that news saying it was free in the UK. So I was kind of nervous. I was like, "Damn, it might only sell in Brazil and Canada, because if it's free in the UK, it might be free in Canada." But I'm guessing it was paid for in Australia, USA, Canada, and like Brazil. So I'm just nervous. And then don't forget, fellas, the 1 million ain't it ain't worldwide. That's just within the United States.
United States, right?
So I was like, okay, because I was happy with 700,000 when I told y'all that, because I did the money. I did the money. I said, okay, they at least generated 50 million this fight outside of the gate.
Right.
Yeah.
When y'all told me it hit 1 million.
Yeah.
If you had the zone description, it was a little cheaper. If you had that, so the median number would be like 70. So if you do 70 times 1 million, wow,
they made
that
that.
is excellent for this fight, fellas.
These
I think
good
it's
numbers,
1.5.
man.
That is absolutely excellent.
We
And I'm
had
very,
faith- we
very
had faith
happy.
that we had faith he was going to do those good numbers though. Like
Yeah.
we was talking, like we like between
We all knew it was going to sell, yeah.
yeah, but it definitely I want to say went a little above than what I thought. Just a little bit. I figured it was going to be over 1 million buys too though. But I mean that's great numbers though. I mean I think I read it's been the most since a Floyd fight. I forgot which Floyd fight he was talking about.
Maybe McGregor.
I think.
Might have been McGregor, probably McGregor.
Or what's his
That's
name?
talking a lot.
Jake, was it against Logan
Logan
Paul, maybe?
Logan Paul.
And I think it was the McGregor one.
I think it was might have been McGregor. Even though that Logan Paul fight that did pretty decent numbers too.
That did good, but because Canelo did good against, I think Caleb Plants was like 800,000, and everybody's like that was a success.
Right.
It was.
Canelo did, I think, good numbers against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
I think did he do good against Billy Joe Saunders too?
It was that was on the zone.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't pay per view. That was just regular the zone, and they didn't want to do pay per view at that point because it was pandemic time.
Okay.
Right.
That was like one of the first fights after the pandemic. I never forget. It was May 2021.
All right.
Because we didn't get, remember, fellas, we didn't get fights until like October 2020 when Theo and pretty much Lomachenko got in the ring. And then that next May, Canelo came. Well, in December, Canelo came to Texas, and I was actually at that fight, and he fought the big tall dude from UK, Caleb. And then the next fight was in May, and that was when he fought again in Texas. And it was North Texas. It was by Dallas, and it was sold out when he fought Billy Joe Saunders. And I was happy for that because Billy Joe Saunders, he talked some mean cash. Don't know what the rest. Way too much.
I broke.
Yeah.
1.4 million buys for the tank fight.
That is excellent.
That is great. And then
that is
I think
great,
from
bro.
the gate, I think it was from the gate only. I think Tate made like 5 mil. That's just from the gate.
So he's still gonna get another 5 mil at least.
So what they said was
you get half of the pay-per-view buys, right?
Yeah.
It depends on how him and Ryan and Golden Boy split it, but he gets something.
Oh,
how much was Ryan's purse, Des?
Say it again.
How much was Ryan's purse?
Was it 60?
I'm not too sure.
Was his purse at least 3 million?
I think his was 2.5 million.
Okay, so if his was 2.5 million, I can see Ryan getting like 7 million overall.
Right.
That's a good payday for him.
I think Tank probably get towards like maybe 10 million. Probably.
Oh yeah, Tank getting at least 10. Tank gonna double that 5.
Yeah, so pretty much Tank made his net worth in freaking.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he over. Yeah, because it's like
his net worth was like
made
4
over
mil.
his net worth. Yeah,
his net worth was 4 mil. He made that in the gate only,
right?
Because he made 5 mil, and then you still get the pay-per-view buys.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's excellent, man.
They both needed that fight, man. That's
they
good.
did. Like,
and that's why what Twan was saying earlier. That's why all these other dudes is chopping at the gums, getting salty and trying to be in the spotlight again because they trying to sell something like that. But hey, a lot of y'all had that chance and y'all be bull crapping. Why take for Tank and Ryan to do something for y'all to do what y'all know y'all supposed to do? It's like a chick who knows she got a good man. She keep bull crapping with him. Then you're like, all right, I think we need to separate for a while. And then she see him down the street with this joint and that joint. Now she all going all off about he did this in the past and this, that, and she all mad. It's like, yeah, you effed up. You know, you
Right.
know you effed up. This is okay.
That
It's
brings
okay.
me on to what happened this week. I think they confirmed. I was telling Mash this earlier this week about the heavyweight tournament in Saudi
Oh
Arabia.
yeah. Go
We
ahead
was
and
talking
talk
about
about
that
that.
last week. Yep. Mentioned that last week.
Wilder. So Joshua was, I forgot where he was, but he confirmed that he was fighting Wilder. And then I think another source came out saying it was going to be him and Wilder, Fury and either Zhang or Anthony Ruiz, and they're gonna have thank you, and then they're gonna have a heavyweight tournament in Saudi Arabia, like an eliminator, and then the winners of both of those fights are gonna square up, like the four of them, or the winners of all those fights, gonna square off in the middle of the ring. My opinion, that's freaking genius. Like, you need something like that. So they kind of do it like a what's that promotion? One championship kind of feel to it, where it's like the whole tournament field, just one weight class, and then the winners of those square off, and then they can branch off and do their own thing, and then get
that's a great idea.
And I think that's supposed to be lined up for December. So end of the year going right into 2024 with that momentum would be great. And then they're still talking about freaking Crawford and Spence maybe in June.
Maybe in June, yeah. That's a fight I think could be up there with not saying it would sell as much as Ryan and Tate. I think Ryan following had a lot of say so in how much he sold. You know, Ryan has that great following too. And then Tate got a good following too, but you know, both of them. But Bud and Spence, that'll be another fight that will have a lot of buys because a lot of people
been asking for like 5 years.
Yeah, and it's been a lot brewing. Yeah, so that's a fight. But I think that will have to happen this year. I think after this
it needs to happen this year.
Yeah, I think people are gonna be like, man, all right,
I'm through with it.
You feel me? Yeah, they're gonna be through with it. It's gonna be like another Mayweather and Pacquiao thing, you know. So they gotta fight.
They have to fight this year.
They gotta fight.
It don't even have to be June. Like, it can honestly be November, December.
Exactly. You be in the year they had
they have to do something this year. Or it's done. Like, there's no reason.
Exactly. There's nobody else even there's nobody else to even.
There's nobody else at 147.
Yeah, that 147 for them to fight no more. You know,
because I think Thurman and Spence fell out.
Yeah, that fight that was supposed to be a backup fight anyway. So like,
that fell out. So now y'all both are just
it's like
in La La Land. Like, stop playing games. Just sign a contract. Like, again, that's what backs up to the whole. I'm really happy the fact that Tank and Garcia fought. They were like, that we gonna fight. There may be some stipulations here or there, but Garcia's like, no, we gonna make this happen.
Right.
And Tank was like, we're both the faces. I just need a dance partner. He was with it. And they did it. So now,
that's why for taking that fight.
That's why I have so much respect for Garcia now than what I used to, because I'm like, you put your O up to get a legacy fight. Although you came out on the wrong end of the legacy fight, you still won at the end of the day because you got respect not only from Tank but also his camp and also his following. Like. So that's the sky's the limit for that kid. Like,
So and he's only 24.
He's only 24.
You got plenty more fights.
Like, he has so much more time to get better, and the potential for a rematch if he does get better. Because Tank could be like, you know what, I'm gonna jump to 140, and Ryan could be to 140 after freaking Tank takes care of freaking Shakur and Haney, because they've been Shakur's been more talking than Haney, but
Tank still got to work at 135. Like,
that he has to take care of.
But like,
once all that's taken care of, he can jump to 140, and Lord knows, freaking Garcia's waiting for him with the belts. So, like,
definitely possibility a couple years down the line. Definitely,
For the rematch, it's just Spence and Crawford. Y'all have to stop messing around. Like, either y'all promoters or you guys themselves are like, I don't know what the holdup is. Just stop playing around, sign a contract. It's not that hard. Like, just fight. Like, you guys are fighters at the end of the day. Like, I was supposed to be looked at as gladiators. That's how I see myself when I'm in a ring. It's like, I'm in the ring. I'm a gladiator. I'm not doing it for, like, to entertain. It's like, I'm a freaking warrior. It's like, you guys are claiming yourselves to be warriors. Like, warriors
and
fight.
Like I said, this the year to do it. Like, just the coattail off Tank and Ryan fight. You know, people are amped up. If you hear this fight about to happen, it's the momentum. You feel me?
Yeah, like, just
all
ride the
that momentum from the Tank and Ryan fight. Most of the people that watch Tank and Ryan are going to watch that Bud and Spence.
Yeah,
because even the casuals, they know they're the two on pound for pound.
147.
137, and they're the top 3 pound for pound fighters. So it's like all that momentum is going to shift,
and y'all gonna make your bread.
Yeah,
like, it is a legacy fight. Y'all don't like each other like that. It's perfect.
So if they were smart, they definitely would make that fight happen this year, man. Definitely.
But I'm happy.
Go ahead, Juan. I'm sorry.
I said I'm proud of them for the heavyweights doing this tournament style thing. If it's actually confirmed, because it's only sources, they haven't really confirmed.
Yeah, it's only a couple of sources,
yet.
Right?
But like, if they confirm this tournament style, that's perfect, especially for the end of the year. It's like you're tailoring off. You're pretty much putting like the top 6 heavyweights in your top 3 main events, or top 8. I'm sorry, top 8 heavyweights, tournament style, like one championship. The winners of all those fights coming together in the middle of the ring. That's
lit.
Momentum going into 2024. Like, boxing's in a good place. You need to start riding that momentum. Like, ride the momentum out. Like, don't, like, again, Tank and Garcia did it perfectly. They're not scared. Stop being scared. Like, the money's there, and they proved it over that pay-per-view. 1.5 buys at $80-something.
That was excellent. They basically just set the bar, fellas. They set the bar. I'm gonna go over this real quick before we get out of here, because we've been rapping for an hour.
All right.
Let me go over this, and then we'll talk about what time we want to start next week. Because I know my co-hosts are the Stream Kings, so I know I'll be getting it. But I know y'all. But so Canelo fighting at home. Okay, so Canelo fighting at home next week, May 6th. May 13th, we got Stephen Butler versus one of those like Azerbaijan boxers. I heard of him. He's pretty tough. He's like a dude that fought Gabe Rosado.
Okay.
Rolly is first. Somebody else. Looks like this last dude pulled out again. But what I want to talk about on that Rolly undercard, fellas, is the co-main event is Gary Antoine Russell getting back in the ring.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So I'll be excited to watch that. But Rolly's,
I'll watch that too.
Right. It says for Rolly's fighters to be announced again, so I don't know what's going on.
And then you guys know he fight somebody else again.
It just says TBA. It doesn't say. It says Rolly versus TBA. It says Gary Antoine Russell versus Kent Cruz, 10 rounds. Dang. Ranzis Bartholomew versus Omar Juarez, 10 rounds. Dang, so that's on the. That's on the 13th.
Trainer, Bullet. I mean, this is random, but I don't like his trainer. He's
what? Why you don't like Bullet? Come on, Dez.
Man, I don't. Bullet just think Bullet. And he's delusional. He really thought he was gonna beat Tank. They keep saying, "Yeah, we was whooping Tank ass," and I'm like, "What?
I'm all right.
What's y'all watching? Like, I don't know what's going." But Bullet just, I don't know. He rubs me the wrong way every time I hear him talk, man. But go ahead, my bad. I just had to.
I feel you. That's funny. We got one of them Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan fighters fighting Stephen Butler on ESPN on the 13th. So that's the weekend of Rolly. That's the weekend we might take all fellas. Then we coming back hot, ready and reloaded on that joint. Pause. But Devin Haney Lomachenko week. I don't see nobody on the undercard that's worth anything except Abdullah Mason's a pretty good fighter. That's about it on that one. Dublin, what'd you say?
I'm looking at the fight.
Listen to you got Katie Taylor, you got Michael Conlon on the 27th, you got Lauren Wood. That's a good rematch on the 27th. O'Cooley's on the 27th. Lawrence O'Cooley, he's good, but I don't know what channel he's on because Eddie Hearn said I ain't taking him back after being disrespectful to him. And then I believe that is also the night. What's my man? Anthony Young fights Rocha, right?
Oh, y'all heard about Mayweather getting back in the ring with that dang mobster grandson, right?
Yeah, John Gotti the third.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right, let me get my kid.
Floyd need to sit his butt down somewhere.
I'm like, what's going on? He about to fight. You know, his daddy probably used to run them fights back in the day, John.
Right.
Gotti, you know how they used to run them fights back in the day.
Right. Yeah, we got Clarissa Shields handing on. Then we got Liam Smith. Oh, y'all heard this?
What?
That's your son or your daughter, Twan?
Oh, that's my little fat boy.
What's up, little homie? So check this out, fellas. They running it back, and then remember, right before we started, it was Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. was doing Stanky Lake.
Yeah.
So they running that back June 17th. So
yeah, are they?
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
So it's a week after the Josh Taylor Teofimo Lopez fight.
Ooh, that'd be a good fight.
So
I think Eubank gonna come back strong in that fight, and
I hope so. I mess with Eubank a little bit.
Yeah, I like Eubanks a little bit. He wasn't even supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight the dude Conor Ben, wasn't he? Conor Ben was on them.
Yeah, Conor Ben was on that stuff.
But now he said he wasn't on that stuff. He said it was the amount of eggs he ate.
Yeah,
amount of eggs. Yeah, right.
And then he embarrassed himself.
You be lying, man.
Right. Well, then he embarrassed himself because the WBC gave him a lifeline, and then he walked out and said, "Oh, I ain't going to accept it because I ain't guilty." And I'm just like, dude,
yeah,
don't bury yourself even more.
Right. It was a little like you got away with it. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know,
like don't bury yourself with it. Amir Khan just got suspended for something too. So they all got some stuff going over there in the UK. I wouldn't be surprised if Joshua have to fight Wilder. He takes something so he can get suspended, so he ain't got to fight him.
Man, you gotta stop that, man.
Man.
Just take your L like a champ, Joshua.
Yeah, because they said that Joshua pretty much confirmed, like, the mean person y'all want me to do, then that's not inside me. So I'm just a fight. You know what I mean? I'm just a fun guy. But
how y'all feel about Morrell calling out Benavidez? Y'all think he deserved that fight already, or he?
Because he ain't gonna get Canelo no time soon. I thought y'all said that wasn't Boo Boo supposed to get him soon or something?
Yeah, but Morrell, he's riding away right now. Go ahead.
Morrell's riding away right now. I mean, I wouldn't mind saying. I mean, Benavidez gonna have to fight somebody big until he gets Canelo. Canelo not about to happen this year, or probably no time. Maybe at the end of next year, maybe.
I think you're trying to fight Benavidez on next Cinco de Mayo. That would
I believe
that'd be excellent.
I would do.
I mean, but you got all right. So Canelo's gonna fight Ryder. Then he's gonna try to get the Bivol fight. That Bivol fight probably not gonna happen this year, though.
Yeah, so he should take that Bivol fight in January.
Yeah, January.
And then fight Benavidez.
But what if he beats Bivol? Then they're gonna try to run it back for more bread on the trilogy thing. So it's like it's up in the air, kind of. I don't really see him beating Bivol though, honestly. So
it's the hand for me. I got to see how his hand is against Ryder because they said he had a hand injury and they confirmed. Yeah. So if he beats down Ryder like I know he is.
Okay, I got you. Well, Benavidez should fight Morrell, and he should fight Morrell just in that time period, just to stay busy. And Morrell is that's a good fight for him. Anyways,
Morrell needs the clout. He did good after that first round destruction. He did
destruction, right? And he had like a whole bunch of amateur fights too. So it's like he's not like no rookie or nothing like that. Exactly. No inexperienced fighter. So
so Morrell got that ambient, and Benavidez is just a dog.
Exactly. So, either him or Boo Boo, right? Like either one of those two, he should fight in the meantime.
That'd be good money. That'd be good money for him.
That'd be good money for him. Yeah.
Dalton Smith. Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's good little rap, fella. So 10 o'clock is good for everybody. Fight party again. Well, I don't know what time it starts. Let's see what time. No, Guadalajara is on Central Time. So yeah,
Yeah,
to-
probably 10. I mean,
10.
we're just doing that. Yeah, probably. Yeah, 10, 11 o'clock, probably maybe.
do 10, and let's see Canelo get busy, and then we'll take that next week off.
Yeah.
But you know what? We might come in. I'll contact y'all. We might come in midweek and talk about something since it's leading up to the Devin Haney fight, and then we can go over that weekend that we take off because Rolly fights that weekend, and we can talk about we can talk about Gary Antoine Russell's performance and all that. And that's another thing. I'm gonna say this before we get out of here, fellas, and y'all can add if y'all want. A lot of people think Adrian Broner left PBC because they was trying to have him fight Gary Antoine Russell, and AB didn't want that smoke. What y'all think?
Oh, for real?
I don't think so.
Well, that's a rumor. Just a rumor.
I don't think so. Broner ain't like that. That's Broner is a pain, and he be just talking out the side of his neck. But I've never known him to like run from smoke.
Yeah,
right.
He wants to smoke. Yeah,
he wants to smoke at all times.
And I think honestly, guys, it would have been like what happened with Brandon Lee this couple weeks ago. I think that's what would have happened with Gary Antoine Russell with Broner. He'd have ran into somebody that's like, oh, they hit hard.
Wait a minute,
right?
Broner does have some ambient.
Yeah, Broner got pop, man. Come on.
Well, and I've seen Gary Antoine Russell get tired, fellas.
Yeah,
y'all notice that? I've seen Gary Antoine Russell get tired against Victor Postol and other people. He gets tired like 5th round because he goes hard. But 5 rounds in, I see him getting tired if he don't hurt the person.
And Broner's that type of fighter who'd be like, you don't want to get tired against him because he kind of fight like if he throws his hands, like we all know he's supposed to throw his hands. And you get tired before the middle of the fight. That's like so you will go to sleep. Like Broner will put it on you and put you to sleep, and then say some stupid stuff after the fight because that's what.
Hopefully, we see Broner by the summer, man.
I hope so. I really want him to start coming.
I think we should definitely see him in July. Yeah, because I don't see no big fights in July other than Fulton. So I definitely would think we see him by July, fellas.
I hope so.
Definitely.
That's a good comeback story because he been through it lately.
Yeah,
give him a chance to redeem himself. Definitely.
Yeah. So good stuff as always, fellas, man.
Yes,
we
sir.
out. I'll be contacting y'all this weekend. Hey, let's just keep doing it. Whatever y'all got news or whatever, text it to me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Chop it up.
And if either one of y'all ever want to make a video, y'all send it to me and I can always post it too.
All right, cool. I got you.
All right, y'all.
Good. Yep.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
Y'all be good.
All right, you guys be easy.
Peace.
That's why you had implied and said. That's why you had implied and said in an interview.
Hey man, look here. That man can't train nobody. Shit, I seen it right on the goddamn screen. Can't train nobody. I see why Broner got his ass.